Okay, so let's talk about a metric that your fitness tracker probably spits out, but you might not really get what it means. I'm talking about heart rate variability, or HRV. It's this super powerful signal from your body, and honestly, understanding what it's really saying, it can be a total game changer. So let's dive in. You ever wonder what separates a good athlete from, a truly great one? What's their secret to staying cool and focused when all the pressure is on? Well, believe it or not, the answer might be hiding in the subtle rhythm of your own heart. Okay, so picture this. You're an Olympic sprinter. You're at the starting line for the 100-meter final. I mean, the hopes of your entire country are on your shoulders. You hear the roar of the crowd, you see your competitors next to you. It's just this insane amount of pressure building up. Your heart is absolutely pounding, your breathing gets all shallow. So how in the world do you find that calm focus you need to perform at your absolute best? The answer, crazily enough, is hidden in those tiny millisecond-long pauses between your heartbeats. And that brings us to what we're really here to talk about, heart rate variability. To get how that sprinter masters the moment, we've got to understand HRV. And I'm telling you, it's probably not what you think. First things first, HRV is not your heart rate. It's not about how many times your heart beats per minute. Nope. It's about the variation in the time between those heartbeats. We're talking about tiny, subtle differences measured in milliseconds. If you've ever seen an ECG, you know those tall, spiky peaks? HRV is the ever-changing time gap between each one of those spikes. And this quote just nails it. A healthy heart is not a metronome. It's kind of counterintuitive, right? You'd think a super steady, robotic beat would be the sign of a healthy heart. But actually, it's the total opposite. That variability, that little bit of irregularity, that's what shows your heart is responsive and ready to adapt to, whatever life throws at you, physically or mentally. So what's behind this constant change? Well, it's basically this physiological tug of war going on inside your body, all thanks to your autonomic nervous system. Think of it like this. You've got two sides. The sympathetic nervous system, that's your fight or flight response. It's the gas pedal. It revs up your heart rate, gets you ready for action, and that lowers your HRV. Then you've got the parasympathetic system, the rest and digest response. That's your brake pedal. It slows everything down, helps you calm down and recover, and that increases your HRV. Because it's so sensitive, your HRV is kind of like a snapshot of your entire life, not just your last workout. I mean, it's influenced by literally everything. Your breathing, how well you slept, the stress you're feeling from work, what you ate, how much water you drank, all of it. All right, so because HRV gives you this amazing big picture view, you can bet elite athletes have figured out how to use it. And for them, it's way more than just tracking how tired they are. It's about squeezing out every last drop of performance to gain that competitive edge. So how do they make this practical? Well, a lot of athletes use this framework called the 3 R's of self-regulation. First up is resting HRV. This is what you measure first thing in the morning, and it gives you your baseline readiness for the day. Number 2 is reactivity. This is all about how your HRV changes during a workout or a challenge. It's totally normal for it to drop here. That just means your body's engaged and working hard. And finally, number 3 is recovery. This is the big one. It's how fast your HRV bounces back to normal after you're done. That tells you just how well your body is handling the stress and adapting. And this whole framework is all about getting to the holy grail of training, something called supercompensation. The idea itself is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You stress your body with training, then you let it recover properly. And the result? You don't just get back to where you started. Your body adapts and becomes even stronger than before. Stress plus recovery equals growth. Okay, let's walk through this. Here's your normal baseline performance level. Let's say 100%. Now you go and do a really tough workout. Right after you finish, your energy is shot, you're tired, and your ability to perform is actually lower than when you began. But this is where the magic happens. If you give your body the recovery it needs, and HRV is a great tool to help you figure that out, it doesn't just climb back to that original 100% baseline. No, it adapts, it overshoots, it builds itself up to be stronger, creating a new, higher performance level. That is supercompensation. And nailing this cycle over and over again is the absolute key to getting fitter, faster, and stronger. Okay, so this all seems pretty simple, doesn't it? High HRV equals good, you're recovered, ready to rock. Low HRV equals bad, you need to rest. But this is where a lot of people get it totally wrong. That simple view is, too simple. The real power of HRV is in understanding the nuance. So let's just bust some of these common myths right now. The belief: high HRV is always good. The reality: nope. For a long-distance runner, a really high number can actually be a sign of deep fatigue. Okay, myth 2. Low HRV is always bad. Absolutely not. It can actually be a sign of peak readiness right before a big race. What about an increasing trend? Always a good thing, right? Not necessarily. It can mean you're overreaching. And a decreasing trend must be bad? Again, no. It might just mean you've switched to more intense training. So what's the bottom line here? It's this. And if you remember one thing, make it this. Context is king. An HRV number all by itself is, well, it's just a number. To get what it's really telling you, you have to look at it alongside everything else. How hard did you train? How do you feel? How'd you sleep? How stressed are you? That's where the real insight is. Check out this perfect real-world example. It's about a college sprint swimmer. On the morning of his biggest race of the year, his HRV completely tanked. Now, the simple high is good, low is bad logic would say, oh no, he's tired, he's gonna swim poorly. But what actually happened? He swam a new personal best. His low HRV wasn't about fatigue at all. It was a sign that his nervous system was fired up, excited, and absolutely primed for a peak performance. Okay, so we've busted the myths, we understand the nuance. Now what? How do we actually turn this number into something useful? Let's talk about an action plan, something practical that you can actually use. So you've actually got some pretty cool science-backed tools to influence your HRV. Want a quick boost right now? Try slow-paced breathing. Seriously, just aiming for about 6 breaths a minute can kickstart that rest and digest system. To speed up recovery after a tough workout, cold water, even just splashing your face, can activate your body's diving reflex. But look, the real foundation is always going to be the basics: getting good sleep and managing your lifestyle, your diet, your hydration, your mental stress. And this all brings us right back to our main point. Context is everything. If you want to make that HRV number truly powerful, you have to pair it with how you feel. Think of it like a daily journal entry. Your HRV drops? Okay, ask yourself, was my workout super hard yesterday? Did I sleep terribly? Am I stressed about something? That's how you connect the dots and find the why behind the number. So let's go back to our sprinter at the starting line. Now, armed with all this knowledge, they feel those same nerves, but they're not overwhelmed by them. Instead, they use that slow breathing technique we talked about. For just a couple of minutes, they calm their nervous system, they give their HRV a little boost, and they sharpen their focus. They've just turned a moment of massive stress into a state of peak readiness. And now, they're ready to win. So you see, HRV isn't just some simple score of good or bad. It's a living, breathing signal from your body. And when you learn to read it with context, it's like having a direct line of communication with your own nervous system. It lets you understand stress, dial in your recovery, and really unlock your full potential. So the real question is, could your own heartbeat be trying to tell you where your next breakthrough is?